How are we looking here? I think we're good. I think we're live. Just moving a few things around here. Cool. All right. I think we're good. I see some video. I hear audio. I got background music. I got my chat window up. I got my paint in front of me. Let's do this. All right. So today I'm going to focus on 2 rooms from Dragon Rest that I've got going on here, and I've kind of got picked out what colors and stuff I'm going to use already. But today I'm going to be painting room number 16, which on my little I've got a whole bunch of these printed off, but it's here. I'll just bring it up on screen. We got room number 16 there, which is like kind of that yellowish color, kind of a faded yellow color. And then the tops and bottoms of some of those triangled squares have like a darker yellow, almost brownish sort of color. So what I'm going to go for with those is I've got, for the yellow, I'm going to go with this Everland Sunset. It's kind of a faded, darker yellow color. And then I'm going to do a mixture of that yellow with a bit of this Doom Bull brown, and that'll get me the tops and bottoms of these triangle areas here. So that'll be that room there. Then the other room I'm working on today will be this one, which is room number 10. I'll pop this back up on the screen again. So room number 10 there, you can see right hand side, kind of a weird snotty green color with kind of a brownish faded kind of look to it. So for that, I'm going to go with this Nurgling green as just the base color for pretty much everything. And then I'll shade the whole thing with this Seraphim Sepia color, and that'll be how I get that kind of brown dirty-ish look on there. So that'll be room number 2. And then I'm going to go around the edges. I've been painting the edges with the Administratum Gray, which is the main color that I've been using for most of the walls and everything. And you'll see that in a little bit. And then after I finish up the rooms here, the actual room tiles themselves, then we'll go through and start doing the walls. And so, like for example, I've got these all in this color already. And then the main color I've been using is Administratum Gray. And then I come back and I do some shading and on the edges, I like highlighting, and then I'll paint some of the bricks different colors, or shade them different colors so that they ultimately look, it breaks up the monotony a little bit. And then we'll go through and we'll put the magnets in too. If anyone's still hanging around then, that'll be cool. We'll check out the magnets. And same with this, I'll put the magnets into this. So, yeah, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. I'm just going to paint right out of the pots. I'm not going to do any kind of watering down or anything like that, because I was finding it just wasn't that helpful to do that. Hopefully the lighting's okay for you guys, but we'll pop this open and we'll start going to town on this. This is a new brush I've never used before, so hopefully it's not too terrible. So I'm just going kind of rough, and I've been finding for the lighter colors like yellow and stuff, I do at least a couple of layers, because it's just so dark. the underside is, that the yellow just can't quite penetrate. Might even have to do 3 layers, but who knows. Oh, you know what? I should also show you the prep I did before this. This I printed in just like a black color, PLA, 3D printed. And the first thing I did was I came in with this filler primer, and that was to help conceal the layer lines and things like that. It's an FDM printer, so that filler primer comes into play, and it's a pretty light gray, too light for the undercoat. I wanted something that popped against the lighter wall color that I've been doing. And then so after that dried, then this is what you're seeing right here, which is this Rust-Oleum Ultra Slate Gray. And so that's what you're seeing here. That's the prep work that was done prior to what you're seeing right now. Nothing too fancy. So the uppers and lowers are going to be that darker brown, so I'm just going to leave those alone. And I was finding at first when I was doing these rooms, I was like being very careful around the edges. And I'm finding ultimately it just doesn't matter that much. By the time it's all painted and you step back and look at it, you can barely tell if you've gone off the edge or it's not perfectly, you know, perfectly smooth along the edge. It's fine. You can't even tell. But you can see right away, you can still see the dark grays like shining or kind of like showing through. So I'm going to definitely come back and do this whole thing again until it darkens it up. But I just want to get a layer of yellow on there for now. And I'm not even trying to get it that thick, because you can try to go thick with this, but that first layer will always shine through. And until I get a layer on there and it starts to dry, and it's usually dry by the time I get down to the bottom, the first ones are pretty much dry enough. I can start layering on a second layer, and it looks pretty good. The only thing I am trying not to do is get it down into the crack. I want those cracks to be down there with the dark color to really separate the tile colors versus the the recesses. Just a chill Thursday afternoon. Actually turned off my air conditioner because it just generated so much background noise. I couldn't have it on stream. It was too much. These new brushes seem pretty good. They're wider than the set I bought. I bought a set of miniature painting brushes, and they were pretty good, but they're also small. And when you're trying to do these larger areas, they just don't work out very well. This is, let's see, this is the 12th room. There's 22 rooms in HeroQuest, individual rooms. I am on room number 12 right now. I have 11 others already done, and maybe I'll show those up towards the end of the stream. Oh, I'm already getting it down in that crack, just like I said I didn't want to do. So I'm a little over halfway there, so that's exciting. But man, I tell you what, this whole project has been very, very time consuming, between the printing, the prep work, magnets. It's been costly. You know, you start to look at it all and you're like, man, maybe I should have just bought one off Etsy or something. But that's dumb talk. I like doing things myself. So far, so good. Hopefully that background music's not too loud. If someone's in the chat and it is, let me know. I'll gladly turn it down for you. That really kind of just quick and dirty first layer. This one might, just this yellow, I might need to do 3 layers on this to get this to really have good coverage on it. And to really conceal that dark slate gray underbelly there. So you probably noticed that I've been pretty inactive on the channel since the HeroQuest base quest book. Once I finished that up, I kind of like, well, do I want to keep going with HeroQuest? Do I want to do something else? I really want to finish this up. I want to finish the Dragon's Rest board up, and then I want to do some HeroQuest stuff on stream. Maybe some Axiom Quest, some of those other homebrewed automatic dungeon generator systems. Try those out on stream. Maybe do some First Light stuff. But it'd be really fun to do it on the 3D board. And we are approaching the first layer being done. I think I'll use a smaller brush when I go to do these sections so that I don't accidentally hit the lighter stuff I've already done. All right. All right, so these sections at the top should be dry. I mean, dry to the touch anyway. So let's start a second layer and just keep right on rolling. You can immediately see the coverage is so much better on that second layer. Really starts to get that nice yellow, solid yellow color that I want. So that's cool. Some other news going on in my world. I just got a promotion at work. I have been working IT for the last 9 years at my company, and my boss just retired, and I was offered the position. So I'm now the IT manager at my company. That came with a nice raise and a lot more responsibility, but I'll take that. So top dog there now. I am the law. So you can see that immediately between here and here, just the darkness factor, it just really starts filling in much, much better. So I think one more layer after this, so that'll get me to the darkness that I'm comfortable with. And then we'll go start filling in these small triangles. Overuse the paint. I don't want to like waste it, but these little Citadel pots are not cheap. I also don't want to waste my time. Okay. I think I'll dial the music down just a touch. Okay. Not too worried about hitting these edges, because I'm going to come around and do like a light gray around the whole edge anyway. And I was finding thinning these out, especially painting over these large areas, really wasn't helping me get any different, like smoother coverage or anything like that. So I just stopped doing it and just started just painting right out of the pots. Last row, second layer. good. Remember what the first one of these I did, I started on the yellow, or a lighter color of some kind. Maybe it wasn't yellow. And I was like, man, the coverage on this is terrible. It's everything's showing through, and that's just my inexperience at painting. But after a couple layers, it looks pretty good. How you doing, Rob? Good to see you. Now, once I do one more layer, then I'll mix some of this with some of my brown and do my upper and lower areas here, probably with a smaller brush so I get a little more control. I'll pull a palette over here and we'll do that. But I think that second layer is probably dry. I think this final layer on these will be dark enough yellow. That's going to be plenty of coverage for this particular room. Oh yeah, that's pretty good. Don't want to overdo it. But you can see each layer just adds that little bit of extra, cuts out that slate gray from underneath from shining through. Maybe I'll show some of the rooms I've already completed up close, and then you can kind of see ultimately what I'm going for, what I'm shooting for with a lot of these rooms. I'll do that in just a second here. So, finished rooms. Check these out. I'll pull one out here, one of the ones I did earlier. Got some familiars I painted here. So here's a room that's completed with its walls. So you can see up close, it's like a bluish color. Did a little bit of shading around on the edges to make it look kind of like worn brick. I've got some rusty chains and a skeleton there. A lot of these, and they're all magnetized, so you can see I've got all the magnets in these, including on the sides and on the bottoms. Oops. That normally doesn't happen, except that I pushed on them. Normally you can flip this sucker right over and it doesn't. So you see all the rooms stay in place, pretty cool. And then in some areas I got like some blood stains and things like that. So it looks pretty cool. And you can see with the walls, I've done random bricks, different colors, just to kind of break up the monotony. Some rusty grates and stuff in there. Some sludgy, slimy water in the sewer grates there. So something like this is the ultimate goal with every one of these rooms. And so after you do the initial coats and the shadings and the edge highlightings, and you get all the doors or not the doors, all the wall sections and stuff done, this looks really, really cool. And having those that just pop on there like that It's so cool. It's also huge. I will say it is absolutely massive. By the time this thing is fully set up, it's going to be like this. I don't even know, man. It's going to be like a 3-foot by 4-foot monster. Okay. Oh, a little more right there. It's nice how quickly this paint dries. So I can have my hand down here and not get a palm full of paint. And I'm trying not to drip a whole bunch down in these cracks because I want that separation. Really kind of pops on the eye when you step back and look at it. But sometimes I accidentally get a little too much paint down the crack, but oh well, nothing's perfect. It's always that, like, I always have that temptation when after I've been doing this for a while, I'm like, I just want to start speeding up and just slamming through it and getting sloppy with it. So you always gotta, like, you know, take a breath, calm down, focus. Don't get sloppy with it. You'll be happier with it later if you do a good job now. Almost there. More tiles, and then we'll mix up a batch of yellow and brown. Not sure like what ratio I'm gonna go yet. I'll kind of play it by ear. I just want it to be darker than what you see here, but not by too much. Just enough that visually when you step back and look at it, you can see the difference, just like on the HeroQuest board. So again, I'll pop it up on the screen here. Number 16 is the room I'm working on now. It's a really faded yellow color, which I didn't really want to go that dark. I didn't feel like figuring out how to go that dark, so I just went with this color that I have. It's about as dark as I felt like going. Okay, that's pretty good. I will set this brush aside for now. We'll grab a palette and let's mix up some of this yellow and some of this brown I've got. and see what we come up with. Get this a shake. Make sure I get this on the screen here. Gotta be paying attention to that. So let's, I want to make sure I have enough so I don't run out halfway through. But apparently I've been using a lot of this yellow because this pot is getting empty. Maybe I should run over to Noble Knight and get some more. So it's probably mostly going to be this yellow with a little bit of the brown. All right. Then I'll set that aside. We'll dip this in here like so. And then I'll use a third brush to actually mix it. That way I can keep these separate. And if I need to add more brown, I can without having to dip yellow down into my mixture here, or into my pot. Okay, so let's mix it with this. It's almost kind of taking on like a yellowish color, or a reddish color. Let's get some more of that yellow in there. I think this color will work just fine. I'm not too concerned about it. What do you think? We're rolling with it. It's got almost like a flesh tone or something to it. But now I got to be a little more careful that I don't hit my already lighter yellow areas. I think I'm just going to go kind of light coat here to begin with, just to get some coverage on it. And then I can come back. And get the second coat on there to really get good coverage. Oh no, see, I'm already doing it. Use my finger. I'm not going to worry too much about the edges. Like down here, I just want to make sure I'm watching the edges between the light and the dark. You know what I need? Need some of this right here. This is the lifeblood. This is the nectar. The ambrosia. Oh, so much better. Oh man, let's see what we got here. This is gonna look cool. Oops, I went a little too deep on that one, but it didn't quite touch the floor, so that's okay. Now the question is, should I end up maybe edge highlighting everything? What I've been using is like this Longbeard Gray. It's a dry brush color, and I've been finding as far as for edges goes, it looks really cool. It gives it like that faded stone look, which is really what I want. Want the dungeon to have that worn-in feeling. Well, I've been kind of mixing it up, actually. Some of the rooms look crisp and clean on the floors, and then some of them look really craggy and worn in. So there's kind of a mix of styles going on. But I think if you step back and look at the whole thing, you're going to be like, yeah, it looks cool. So my goal is I've got all the corridors done already. So I'm going to finish up the rooms, minimum. And then I got to get all the doors done. Again, minimum. And then the thing I hope I have done before Gen Con, which is a couple months away, is I've also got all the secret doors and the LED sconces. So I got actually like little, what are they, like little flat watch battery type things that power the little LEDs. And those are really cool. And I would really love to have those in place while we play. And if I could find the time to write a custom quest for Gen Con, that would be awesome too. Unless like maybe Kurgan wants to host. He can use my board, but maybe he wants to host the quest. We'll figure it out. Okay, this is starting to dry up here, so I'll give that a second, and then we'll start over again and go over it all again, and then I think we'll call this room almost done because I still got to go around the perimeter. I'll wash up my brushes. I'm getting paint all over my pots and stuff. Get some more, you know. I haven't had very much. And it's a little watered down too. This is what is this? This is Blade and Bow. A friend of mine turned me on to this. Hey hey Elviler. Yeah, I don't really do live streams. Not really since last year, since Gen Con, honestly. We did some streams each night at the end of Gen Con, and other than that, I never really did any live streams. I did one when I unboxed the Jungles of Delthrak, the dice and the tray. Other than that, I haven't done a live stream. I'm like, why don't I do that? Just set up a camera and just hang out and talk. Uh-oh. Suppose I could jump into Discord and other people could talk too. If anyone's interested in that, let me know. And I can jump into Discord and we can chat. Just talk HeroQuest. Talk about the Crypt of Perpetual Darkness drama that's going on right now. I think I might need a third coat for this to get the coverage I want. Hell yeah, man. What are you painting, Rob? Doing some minis or HeroQuest stuff or another game? Oh, that's cool, Elvaler. Glad you could stop by. I was mostly talking to myself there for a little while. That's most days anyway. I'm like, what's that show? Scrubs. I'm like the Zach Braff character, where I'm constantly just daydreaming all day. Troll and Star Wars and some HeroQuest. Nice. One of these days I will sit down. Actually, one of my friends, my dwarf player for HeroQuest, over and over she's like, we need to have a paint night. You just need to come over and we're going to paint our HeroQuest figures. And I'm like, you know, that's a fun idea. Why don't we do it? But we just, I don't know, for whatever reason, you know, we just don't get a chance to get together enough. Maybe once a month, every couple months or something, and we just want to play some games rather than paint. So, but I would love to sit down with them and just have a paint night. Alright, that's looking pretty good. I think I'm going to do one more coat of the darker color though. And then we'll do the border, and then we'll set that aside, let it dry up, and then I'll come back and I'll add the magnets into it. I've got a large container of magnets. This is my second one. Each one of these contains 1,000. I had to order these from China. And they were not cheap. These magnets are not cheap anymore. I think they used to be a lot cheaper, but they're not anymore. So I got these, and then I got a whole bunch of clips printed, and I've got actually more of these too in the other room. And so I got to put the magnets into these clips, and then clip them into here. Surprised Kurgan hasn't popped in. He seemed yesterday. I said I was going to do a stream today, and he said he seemed kind of excited for it, but maybe he's busy. Yeah, that coverage looks good. Stuff happens. People get busy. I'm still hurt though. Mixing balls for my paint. No, they're magnetic. They're the magnets for the Dragon's Rest set. Oh, Vyler. Almost there, and I'm almost off the camera here. I have this tendency to want to pull it towards myself when really the camera's over here. So I just gotta make a mental note of that. Stop doing that. Smooth out some of those gobs there. And I think we'll call that one pretty good. I'm gonna let this dry for a second though, and then I think we'll hit the edges with some dry brushing and give it a bit of a faded stone look. But that'll take some time. I'm gonna walk away from the camera. I'll keep talking though, because I'm gonna be washing my brushes. But I'm gonna go do it in my sink. So hopefully this isn't too loud for you. So yeah, Vyler, if you haven't seen them before, I can show you my the clips. I'll show you the magnetic clips and how they work, and how they hold the rooms together and hold the walls on the edges of the room. It's really, really cool. It's like a really nice setup. It's more expensive than just printing. There are clips that you can get that are just, or that you can print off that just clip the rooms together. But I wanted to do it all magnetic, so I could very quickly and easily pop things off. All right. Clean brushes. Just drying them off, and then I'll head back over. All right. Painting Vader, the Wookiees, some Stormtroopers, the miniatures are great. They are great. And you know what, Rob? A buddy of mine, we just did a week, like a 4-day gaming weekend last week before. And my buddy of mine brought 2 games and he offered both to me. He said, you can have them for free if you want them. One was Imperial Assault. He's like, if you want it, you can have it. And I was like, man, I don't think I'll ever play it. I got so many other games I haven't played. And then the other game he offered me was the other Fantasy Flight game, the Lord of the Rings one, Journeys in Middle-earth. It's the app-driven one. And we played that together once, and I kind of liked it, but I felt like we spent too much time staring at the app. And that was kind of a bummer. Sure, Elvira, let's check that out right now. I'm going to set this aside. Ooh, I'm dropping stuff. All right, check this out. Here's a finished room, and with the walls on it. And if you look at the side here, you can see the clips and the ball magnets in the side. So they're in the sides. That's what clips either the corridors or other rooms to this room. There's also clips underneath each tile. So if you have some kind of magnetic thing for maybe your miniatures or for some kind of blocking terrain or something, it can magnet down here to each tile. And then, if I pull off some of these sections, you can see that there are the magnet clips in each one of these. So it's a ball, obviously it spins and orients itself, and then underneath each one of these has a couple of clips in it. So it's just very quick and easy to just move things around, rearrange. I can put this here. It gets it pretty close, but sometimes you gotta push it back into orientation. Flip the whole room upside down, nothing falls apart, nothing falls off. So they're strong enough for that. And then here, let me pull out another room here. So I got my other rooms tucked away in a container. Oh. Oop. And then like here's another room, but then when you want to push two rooms together, they lock together fairly well. And even when I pull one room, they hold together pretty well. And then all of the doorways in the Dragon's Rest set are double thickness. So in order to replace one of these sections for a door, I can just pluck out two of these and then plop in the doorway. And then the doorways have hinges, and it just uses the a piece of the filament of 3D printing filament, and that acts as the hinge. So that's pretty cool. And then you can see just some of the detail I put on some of these. This thing, it's got some different color, like a bronze, and then I got some blood splatters on there. Here's a skeleton chained to the wall. There's like rust on the chain. And some of these, I put like blood around the ankles and stuff. Just some faded bone and stuff. You can see I got some like rusty grates and stuff like that. You can see I kind of have a base color. The base color for all of this, all the walls, is lighter gray. It's administratum gray. And then I pick out random, on each one, I'll pick out like 3 or 4 random bricks, and then just paint it, or use a shade paint and just paint it a slightly different color, just to break up the monotony. And then it really looks cool when it's all done. So I was really happy with how it all turned out, or how the rooms were turning out. So obviously you know which room this one is. It's the only room that's got the little carve out. It's the bottom, in the bottom right corner of the board there. But all these things are interchangeable, so if I want to have a room that has all these lower height pieces, I could swap out some other rooms and swap them into here, so maybe it's easier for people to see. So got some chains here, maybe a little blood at the bottom of the chain, a little bit of rust here and there. Pretty cool. All right, what's next? Our next room. This one is room number, what do I call this one? Room 10? I'll put it up on the screen here. So room number 10, this is kind of my numbering system, going from left to right, from the highest row downward, and that's how I determined numbers. Totally arbitrary, but I was just trying to keep track of what I was doing. But number 10 is what I'm going to do next. It's kind of a faded, ugly puke snot green. So I'm going to do that with this, what is this, Nurgling green. That'll be my base color. And once that dries up, I'll hit it with a shade of Seraphim Sepia to give it that kind of dirty green color. And we'll see how it looks. But this one will be cool because I don't need to do different colors on here. I can do it all one color. So maybe I'll use the bigger brush again. Give this a shake. I don't think I've ever opened this before. Oh yeah, this is brand new. Okay. Maybe I'll only have to do one coat on this with this darker green. We'll see how it. We'll see what the coverage looks like. Hopefully. If I only have to do one, that'd be great. Because having to come back over it multiple times kind of sucks. Kind of hard to tell right now. Once it dries, I'll be able to better tell if it needs a little bit more. That might just be good enough as is, because then once you add in the shade paint on top of it, it looks really, really good. I think I'm definitely gonna go back to the last room though after it's fully dry, and I'm gonna hit the edges. I'm gonna do some edge highlighting. I don't even know if I'll get to the wall sections tonight. Reducing the number of coats. Yeah, you're probably right. I probably should do some kind of better primer color with these. Seems like I only really struggle with the real light colors, but oh well. Maybe I will need a second coat on these. It's starting to shine through a little bit. And I'm trying to leave the cracks nice and dark. Want that nice dark separation. I guess, Elviler, since you came in later, I'll show you what I did for prep work on this prior to what you see here. So the very first thing I did after printing, I printed in black, and then I hit it with a couple coats of filler primer to really help get rid of those layer lines, and I think it does a pretty nice job. But that's real light gray. And then the base coat that you're looking at right here is this Rust-Oleum Ultra Matte Slate gray color, kind of a dark gray. And I mostly went with this because it's really cheap. It's like $4 a can versus Citadel stuff, which is like $20, $25 a can. And it seems to go a really long way. Like I got a lot of stuff covered with just a couple of cans of this. So that's what I've been rolling with. And then same with the wall sections and stuff. These are all unpainted, as you can see. But the coverage is so good. And then going over the top of that with the lighter gray, and then actually letting some of the dark show through a little bit, gives it that stony texture, and it looked really good. And I was super happy with it. So that's what I've been rolling with. I like the mix up of full tiles and like broken up tiles in this room. I'm a fan of that. Now on the HeroQuest image though, there is no different colors really, so I'm not bothering. There are some rooms where like some of the stones are randomly different colors, and I was trying to like respect that. But this one doesn't seem to follow that pattern. It's all just one solid color. But the shade paint will give it a little bit of variety, so. These might get really chalky. Yeah, I just bought a Citadel set. It was like a whole bunch of paints in a big set, and I've been using that, and then I've been picking up random colors as I've gone along. Like for blood, I use I looked online and everyone recommended this. It was like this Tamiya clear red, and it looks awesome for blood. It just with barely any work, it looks like actual like blood splatters and stuff. So I would like take that Tamiya red and I would like load it up on the end of a brush and then just kind of flick it onto different areas to give it like splatter looks, like some Dexter like splatter lines. Sorry about bumping the camera there. Kurgan, welcome, my friend. God bless. Just beat the devil out of it. I was wondering where you were. Mm-hmm. Ruby Ross. Should I sign one of these tiles? Sign it in blood red. But yeah, again, just trying to skim coat over the top here and leave all the dark recesses intact. I think, you know, even on camera here when I look at it, I'm like, man, that really pops off of, pops on the eyes. Whereas if you're trying to like paint down right to the edge, you know, like down in there, I think it just kills some of that and doesn't look as good. You want to see something awful? I'll show you something real quick. This is one of my test pieces that I first started with when I was trying to figure out which colors and which shade paints and stuff and how much rust to add. That grate is totally covered in rust. Looks like dog crap. And I was trying like the different, like there's like a green shade and a browner one. I think it's not even the sepia one. There's a darker one. And yeah. And obviously I didn't end up with anything that looks like this. Actually, I can show you guys some of the corridor tiles I did too. I think they turn out really cool. I did the same thing I did with the walls, right? I chose random tiles and I shaded them a different color just to kind of break up the monotony a little bit. So when you step back and you look at the whole thing, it's really cool looking. And then I did random blood splatters here and there. Oh, Kurgan, I got to show you something. I haven't put this anywhere yet, but I will be putting this on somewhere on one of the corridor tiles. It is a tiny boot. So I gotta paint this a nice brown color. make it kind of look leathery, worn leathery. And I'm going to glue this onto one of the corridors. I figured, you know, that's kind of required. Touching the toe of an old boot. You find nothing. Yeah, after this first coat, I'm seeing I definitely think I should go with this second coat. Yeah, I tell you what, man, it's a lot of work. So there's been a lot of evenings of just popping something on YouTube and just sitting here, and my girlfriend walks by, takes a look and goes, "You're such a dork," and wanders off. But there have been plenty of nights where I'm like, you know, I could have just bought one of these. Just go on Etsy and just buy it. Fully painted, everything. But I tell you what, when it's all done and we're playing on it, it's going to be a point of pride, for sure. How's the music level? Is it too loud, too quiet? Just right, hopefully. I was trying to get it loud enough you could hear it, but not so loud it was blowing your ears out. Forgot to add a boot. Yes! You gotta have a boot, man. Gotta add that boot. This has been sitting on my workstation here for I don't even know how long. I'm like, I gotta remember to make my boot. All right, let's go coat 2, and then we'll call this good. I think this is gonna be a quick skim coat right over the top of all these, just to kind of darken it up a bit. This one, I actually don't care if the gray shows through a little bit, because this is ultimately going to be kind of a dirty color. But you can definitely tell the difference between this row and this row in terms of darkness. That's cool. Make it look good. Let's step back and look at this. I want to be proud of it. So I've been working on this, just so you guys know, I've been working on this since October. That's when I first signed up for Dragon's Rest and started printing. That's how long I've been trying to stick at this, and it's sometimes it's not easy. I probably could have had it long done by now, but I don't work on it all the time. let's see. Kurgan is just going to town in chat here. Make it count, my brother. Why is she standing around? That's a good point. Why isn't she prepping? Why isn't she, I don't know, giving me a shoulder massage or something and giving me words of encouragement? What the heck? I should trade her in for a younger model. She's not at home right now, so I can say that. And she doesn't watch my channel, so. I'll tell you what we're just about due for. Another sip. Here we go. This is Blade and Bow. Yum yum. She also tells me I don't have to moan every time I take a sip of bourbon, but I don't agree with that. All right, we're just about there. I'll give this a quick mix. We can do our shading. She actually went out, she went to dinner with some co-workers. Some lady friends of hers that have been working in her office for a while that are leaving. Coat here, almost there. I'll set this aside and I'll go back to the first room and we'll work on some very light edge highlighting. And actually, I don't think I'll use the Longbeard Gray or Longbeard White. It's Longbeard Gray. I'll use the yellow dry brush color I have for that. All right. So there's another room looking pretty good. We haven't added the shading to it yet. We're going to let that dry a little first before we start slopping shade paint all over it. So let's hit these edges, and I've got for that we can use this Hexos Pale Sun. And a different brush. This guy here. We'll use this guy here. It's a little bit bigger. And let me grab a, let's grab a paper towel. All right. Give this a quick mix. Give it a mix. But it's real thick stuff that the dry brush paints. You can see how thick that is. I don't know if any of you guys have ever used dry brush paints before. I'm sure you have. You're probably way more experienced painter than I am. to dab quite a bit off on a paper towel. I just start hitting the edges. Take it easy, Elviler. Thanks for stopping by, man. And that starts to fade those bricks out a little bit. And I like that look. Sometimes I just like to, some of these like little holes and stuff, I like to just brush around those and give those a little bit of a faded stone look there, as you can see. I think that looks cool. Go real inconsistent with it on these. I like it when it's kind of, some stones are a little more faded, some are a little nicer looking. And we'll do like some extra right here on this stone. So just got a little bit of a more of a fade on it. We'll go this direction a little bit too. You know, just kind of give it that. And I've been recording everything I've been doing on every one of these rooms. Every individual room that I've done on the board, I've been meticulously taking notes on exactly what colors I use, exactly what shade paints, exactly what highlighting, everything, so that I can recreate it later. Or if somebody else is interested in knowing what I did, I can, you know, provide that instruction. Not that I should be providing anybody with paint instruction. I'm a novice at this. Ooh, that's a little too much. Wipe it off with my finger. Still too much. Wipe that brush off a little bit more. I don't want too much. I don't want your eye being drawn to it. I just kind of want the general faded look across the board, you know? I like to fade these cracks a little bit too, you know. So get right into those cracks and come back so that way it's all kind of, you see what I'm saying. I'm gonna stop talking. No, but I gotta keep talking though. Otherwise, why would anybody watch the stream? Okay, so we're gonna call this one done. That's shaded or highlighted a little bit. And I think the last thing we want to do here is nothing on this one. Let's do some highlighting on the other one. The other board we were working on. This is just about dry. I'm going to take this over to the sink and wash it, and then we'll come back and we'll do, I think I'll do this. I'll do this long beard gray. Actually, you know what? Just going off the graphic here, we'll pull that up. The number 10. Maybe I won't do any highlighting, and I'll just put the the sepia, what did I do with it? The Seraphim sepia kind of brown shade paint on there. But for now, let me wash my brush real quick. That's pretty good. All right. Ooh. There's some popcorn sitting here. I'm going to eat some of that. Mm. Fantastic. All right. So rather than doing any kind of highlight, let's just hit it with a sepia brown. And hopefully this looks cool. Should I use this brush or should I use something that has less? I don't want to put too much. I'll use this one. I apologize in advance, I got a cough. Okay. All right, so let's start to fill up some of these lower cracks. I'll come back to this. I'll clean some of this up. Right now I'm just kind of slopping it over there, all over the tiles. Hopefully it just kind of looks like it's in those darker areas. Those lower areas there, you know. Maybe I should just do that instead of trying to slap it everywhere. But I want to be consistent too, so. Like I said, I'll do a row and then I'll come back and I'll try and clean it up a bit. Maybe there's a little bit of that brownish tinge everywhere. Maybe that's what I could use the larger brush for. Kind of clean it up a bit. All right, looks pretty good. I'll leave those recessed areas kind of darker. Try not to get the brush tone in there. And I think when that dries up, that'll look pretty good. Again, we'll slap a bunch in the lower areas. I feel like I'm talking too quiet. I gotta remember to keep my voice up. Because normally I'm just talking to myself. But we're on a stream right now, so we gotta amplify. Okay. Again, we'll come back and just kind of hit the high areas, clean them up, but leave those low areas. Let the paint soak down in those low areas. Gives a little bit of contrast. Alright, that looks pretty good. Pretty happy with that. Last row. Gotta look at COPD today. Yeah. What'd you think, Rob? I can't say I'm super thrilled, but I don't know what I was expecting either. It's like, you know, I already have it, so what were they going to include in the box to make me buy it? I apologize if my fingers are in the way. Okay. Obviously that's a little on the heavy side, so I'm gonna just knock off some of this. I might go back to the start and add in just a little bit more of this, just to help increase that contrast a bit. Excuse me. Just realized I haven't eaten any dinner today. So once I decide to end stream, I'm gonna eat something. This is pretty good. I think I need to redo that first row. I didn't quite do it the way I wanted to do it. Mostly I got a few areas that I want to be a bit darker. I like the dice a lot, and for 35 it's okay. I would have liked grittier art, but I like the idea with the cards, just not big on the art. Yeah, I'm with you on that. They're trying to change it up a little bit. They're trying things. It's just, you know, are they succeeding? I don't know. All right, that's looking pretty good. I'm gonna roll with that. It's like snotty green with some weird browny sort of brown, sort of like snotty. All right, get another sip. Welcome back, Kurgan. You're right in time to listen to me wash my brushes off camera. My slop sink is my kitchen sink. And I think we'll just go around with the Administratum Gray and just color the edges now. And then these rooms will be ready for some magnets. Just beat the devil out of it, man. So where's my gray? I'm lost. I'm confused and scared. Here we go. This is what I've been using for primary color. That's for all the walls and everything have been this color. And then I don't know why I've been doing this. I don't know if this helps, but I've been going around and putting a gray layer where the walls go. Why? I don't know. Don't ask me. I don't have a reason. For some reason, I just felt like because the walls are gray, that's like their base color, having them come down on an edge here just helps them blend to the floor better. Made sense in my head. Does it make sense in reality? I don't know. Being streamed, don't hate the player, hate the game. Beat the hell out of him. You know you're Ross. Yes, sir. I was just watching a Bob Ross the other day. I just put it on YouTube randomly. It might have been while I was at work. And I was just enjoying listening to him talk. This first layer is always a little on the, doesn't quite cover all the way, and I usually have to come back and do a second layer. That's okay. There's no mistakes, just happy accidents. I guess I do this too because I feel like sometimes I get some of the color that is on the tiles, I get it up on this edge here, and I like to just kind of do this as a sort of a clear all. But then once this edge paint dries, we could do some magnets, I guess. We don't have to move straight to the walls right away. So this is room number in terms of how many I've gotten completed. What did I say? What did I have done before? Oh God. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So this is 12 and 13 out of 22 total rooms. And each, like, I do them in pairs, and each one usually is like a good 3-hour painting session of, each pair is a good 3-hour painting session. But when it's done, it's really cool. All the tiles are brown. And the walls are gray. It's a little thick on these. It's still wet. Usually by the time I get all the way around, where I started is dry, and I can keep it right on going and get the second layer on right away. But maybe we'll switch it up here. We'll go to our other room and let the other one fully dry. And I have some stuff out on my deck here. I could grab my camera and go out and show you my next set of rooms that I got this dark gray base coat on. Sitting out on my deck, so I gotta make sure I don't forget those, so they don't get rained on. And then when it's all said and done, what else did I have? I'm coating it with this Army Painter matte varnish. Noble Knight actually had it cheaper than Amazon. I was like, that's cool, so I'll just go over there and pick it up. Matt's varnish, yeah. Matt's a good dude. I trust him. I trust his varnish. Pretty good. Brushing on virus way faster, just can't slop it on. Yeah. Yeah. So when I'm done, I'll take a completed room, you know, like an example here. I'll take a completed room, I'll go outside, I'll pull all the individual wall sections off, and I'll just spray the whole thing. The room, all the walls, let it dry for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, you know, until it's dry to the touch. Flip everything over, hit the other side, and hopefully everything will be fairly well protected. I got some in the works too. I got some updates to MentorBot that I want to get in place that will make, the goal is to make adding additional dice easier and kind of automatic in terms of like when you run the help command and stuff like that, and it tells you what dice are available. So I've got all this stuff. It's mostly ready and mostly tested, but basically you there's like a JSON file, and you just add the metadata, and it will auto be able to add all those dice in place. So like even you, Kurgan, would be able to add dice in if you wanted to, and it'll just work. And it'll like generate the help file and everything automatically. Well, I gotta keep in mind the DD dice integration too. So I guess any dice you add and you want them to be rolled in DD dice, they got to be created there too. Obviously, if you want that integration to work. But it's cool too. Like another big enhancement that I did is with the help generation. Is that when you run the command, it'll give you examples of valid rolls. and it will generate the help on the fly, and the help is different, and the examples shown in the help are different every time because it's all generated on the fly. So I thought that would be really cool, because then everybody that runs that help command, you know, can see different examples. But the idea in general was to make it easier to add dice, not just HeroQuest dice, but also for other games too. Because in my other servers, I've got obviously in the HeroQuest fans, I've got HeroQuest, and I've got what else is in there? Space Crusade. But I've got other games in my other servers too. I've got, like, for the Fantasy Flight Doom game, I've got the dice for that. I've got Descent. I've got Deep Rock Galactic. And just adding those in becomes that much easier when it's switched to the new method that I've put together. I know some people have expressed interest in being able to add MentorBot to their servers, but I don't know if I ever want to do that, to be honest with you. I mean, I could do it. I'd have to rework a few things. I'd have to add some database storage to the server. I don't know if I want to go down that road. Kind of like that it's kind of a unique thing, mostly for us. Other people can use it if they want to. Like I set up that, I forget his name, Dano or whatever his name, the French guy. I got him set up on his server. I sat down with him for like an hour one Saturday morning, and I worked through it with him, and his daughter helped him translate, because his English is pretty good, but sometimes he struggled with certain words. Okay, that edge is looking pretty sweet. Set that aside. Go back to this one. Yeah, you got it, Rob. It's proprietary. You can't have it. It's like the Iron Man tech. You want it? You can't have it. You want it? Go over to the Justin Hammer equivalent. Because the truth is, I am Iron Man. Almost done. Maybe we'll start some walls, or we could do magnets. I kind of like getting the magnets done, and that way this is just done. Know what I mean? Burn. I went as Ernest for Halloween one year. I've got pictures. I can show you my Ernest costume. Nobody knows, Kurgan. We don't know. As far as we are concerned, it's magic. It's Asgardian magic. Tide goes in, tide goes out. You can't explain that. Okay, these are done as far as paint goes. Let's look at some magnets. I've got my clips, and I got some more sitting in my printer. We've got our 5mm ball magnets that we gotta get our plugged into our clips. So let's do a bunch of these. This is the boring stuff. And so there's just these little tiny little clips. I've printed off hundreds of these at this point, maybe thousands. And you can just pop the magnet in, like so. Will that focus on that? It might not. Oh, there we go. So you just pop it in there. And it's got these little, like, kind of flanges on the side here. And all of these tiles have got these little slots, obviously on top, on the sides, and on the bottom that those clip into. And we'll just go through, after I get a bunch of these prepped, we'll go through and clip them in. 6x speed. No. No, I'm going to actually slow it down. We're going to go 1/2 speed and just really piss people off. It'll be ASMR, actually. And I cry at how expensive these magnets are. They're more than you think. But I thought this would be the best way to clip all the rooms together and be able to take them off and put them back together easily. You know, during play, you can just pop a wall section off and pop a door in there. That's really cool. In Wisconsin, we would call these Bucky balls. They were selling these. Bucky is the Bucky Badger is the UW Wisconsin mascot, and they would sell these things. They were multicolored though, and they were called Bucky balls. And they ended up getting banned because kids were eating them. So, yeah, kids ruin everything. That's my point. Okay, we got a whole bunch of these ready. So let's pop a few of these in. Start on the back edge here, my underside, and I'll just start grabbing these. And they stick together, and so it's really annoying because I'm trying to like pull these apart. And you can see they just kind of clips in. And I mean, I can get it out, but it's not easy. I have to like, get in there with a tool and dig it out, but So, but yeah, you know, if something ever broke or whatever, and I wanted to like reclaim the magnets for any reason, I could do that. They do, Kurgan. They need to get off my lawn. Like, every time I hear that, I think of Gran Torino. Just Clint Eastwood going super angry old man mode. Okay, that's it. Everything on the back is filled in, so if I end up with something that needs to be magnetized to any one of these tile spaces, it'll work. We'll do the edges. Grab some more of these. Go through them quick. It's pretty incredible how fast you go through these things. That was off camera. I apologize. I'm not paying attention. Like each 4x4 tile, just a 4x4 tile, you figure there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 per side. So there's 24 just for the top. 4 times 4 is 16 for the sides and 16 for the bottom. So 16, 16, 32 plus 24 on the top. I mean, that's a lot of magnets. But this is what I spend my evenings doing. What does it stick to the bottom? I am not sure yet. I think, oh, I got all the edges done. Sweet. I was thinking about making some remarkable rims that had a little slot in the center. So you could like have a rim, take a magnet and pop it into that little slot in the rim, and then slip the rim on a mini, and then it would hold your minis in place pretty nicely. That would be kind of cool. No, it'd still be the flexible rim material, but it would just have a little, like a little area to pop the magnet into. And you know, I think the bottom of the HeroQuest miniatures has kind of like a little hollowed out spot underneath, so the magnet can kind of tuck underneath a little bit. I just thought that'd be kind of cool. Ran out of magnets here. As cool as coasters and stuff, probably not. So probably I got to make a decision on what I want to start making for Gen Con. I got to start printing some stuff off. I'm stuck on my, I got my magnets stuck to my watch because I got a magnetic band. Stick around. You can see it's a lot of busy work, and man, it just consumes your time much quicker than you think. All of a sudden you're like, you look at the clock and it's like, oh, it's 10:30 at night. I've been doing this all night. Wow. Okay. There we go. All of our magnets are in place. All of our sides, backs. Oops. Everything's good to go. I probably don't even need to do the backs. I could get away without these. But I thought I'll put them in now. That way they're just there. So in the future, when I want to use these, I can. All right, this room. This is what it ended up looking like with the wash on it. I think that looks pretty freaking cool. But we need some more clips. Yeah, right. Have I been asleep? Have I slept? His name is Tyler Durden. Or no, Robert Paulson. What am I saying? Jeez. Friends of mine used to tell me I looked like Edward Norton. I disagree. I do not agree at all. So yeah, I gotta put like, what, like 50 something of these together for each, just a 4x4 room. It's like 50 something odd magnets to fill it. Get pretty good at it though. I got another batch of 100 sitting on the print bed right now that just finished up a little bit ago. So when I start to run out of these. Batch of 100 takes about an hour to print. All these little clips. All right, let's start. On the back side, again. Oh, and I gotta remember to, after I kill stream, I gotta go outside and pull in my stuff that's sitting out there before it rains. Later, Kurgan. Take it easy, man. Didn't even get to the walls. I'll do another stream and I'll do the walls. That way people can see process for the walls. So I think that's more fun. There's more variation going on there. Okay, that's it for the back. Now we'll do the edges. Oops, let me make sure I get this in the camera. Should have enough to do the edges. Probably not quite enough for the top though. I'm going to need to put a few more together. Then I'll call that stream, I think, once that's done. It's pretty good progress. Better than 0. Okay, so there are the edges done and the bottom done. Now we just got to do the top. And sure enough, we are out after 5. We need 19 more. Keep running, rolling with my buckyballs. Time we got here, 9:24. How long has this been going? A couple hours? Oh, I started at 7:20, so yeah, 2 hours. Two hours, 2 rooms. Well, the bases of the 2 rooms and all the magnets, so they're basically totally done except for varnish. I think I got enough clips here, so that's good. That'll let me finish this up, and then I think we're going to call it good. I got to do a little bit of cleanup and some additional prep for the next set of rooms that I'm going to be doing. Okay, that's that. We'll put these magnets back. Put my clips so I don't lose them. I'll put them in my little container here. And that room is done. At least the floor tiles are done. All the magnets are in place. Cool. So I got a whole bunch of wall sections that go to those rooms. So I got those here, and I got these over here. These are what I'm going to use on these are what I'll paint on the next stream, and maybe the boot tile, and that'll be you can see that process. It's pretty cool, and you know, it's fun to watch it all come together. So anyway, thanks for watching, everyone, and I'll see you next time. I'm not sure when that'll be. Maybe sometime over the weekend or sometime next week. But I'll try to post something in advance so that people want to put this on the background as something to listen to or whatever.